people that might be kind of like just breaking that, that high school barrier, and now they're in the real world. What are the options you suggest for somebody like that versus just saying, you got to work a job. You just got to make 5.45 whatever.
And remember, y'all, this is just my opinion and my view.
But isn't minimum wage more than 5.45?
Not in some places. You get the tips. Your tips add in. Yes, sir.
Okay, now you're talking about depending on the job you're doing, though. Right?
It depends on the job.
Okay.
But some of them you get tips, and that basically in Wisconsin the minimum wage is $6.75.
Is it? Wow.
And they kept saying it was more, but it was $6. You are only required to pay $6.75. They got a whole thing hanging on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, but
okay. So what are your options that you personally can give?
If a kid comes out of school and he has a stable enough home that he can stay there, I suggest he get a job so that he can start saving money. I also suggest that he talks to his parents about what his possibilities are and what he needs to do to, to reach his dreams. What he needs to reach his dreams. Then your parents will usually tell you how they did something or how they were able to acquire something. And then they may show you that direction. Because like I said, at 18, these kids are not ready.
So that was kind of what? If a kid is listening right now to that and they heard what you just said, you already established that the parents are not necessarily there.
But he's got an uncle, he's got the school counselor, he's got the minister,
maybe they're not.
He got the principal.
No, maybe
he got folks down the street that own a business.
No, not necessarily.
I'm gonna tell you something. I learned everything I know in the street. I don't know about nobody else.
So
but you have to pay attention.
Then why would you say the person down the street who owns a business?
They taught me a lot. Remember, I told you the Jewish guy taught me how to count. I lost all my money fast.
Okay.
Remember, I told you that.
Okay.
Then I worked with a lady. She owned that's how I went to beauty school, because she owned a beauty shop. She used to let me come in and do shampoos and get my $2.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to reach outside your home because they don't always come equipped with the stuff
I like that.
They don't always come equipped with what you need to succeed.
Okay.
And I consider myself successful. I don't care. I've done what I want to do. So this is just me speaking.
So let's talk about military.
I think the military is wonderful for kids.
I was watching a show the other day.
I think it's wonderful.
He was like homeless,
mm-hmm.
and he really didn't have any options. He pretty much just had to join the military. And it was like, if he didn't make it in the military, he just looked at it as his life was over.
Right.
So the military, it could be a good option for some people, but it just really depends on
the person.
Yeah. If they're able to.
But we had an argument about that one, remember?
Okay.
About the military. But I said, when those kids start popping up at court and they're 15 and over, that should be the option they offer them. Because the military teaches one thing that these kids don't have: discipline. Right. It teaches that's the one thing that is a successful pusher for everybody. If you're disciplined, you cannot fail.
Okay.
That's me thinking. If you're disciplined, that means you're going to do everything that it takes to get you from point A to point B. And nothing is going to stop that. And I think that would be beneficial for kids, especially those kids that are having problems. And I mean problems, if they put them in the military, because then they have no option but to be under the guise of these men who will get them right. What do you think? You've been in the military, tell me.
Well, I mean, it just really depends, because the military, when you first go in, you got to pass the test to get in.
Yeah, they probably can do that. Okay.
It's called an ASVAB.
Let me say this.
So so if you've had a hard time in high school and they haven't taught you a lot of the things that you should have known,
mm-hmm.
or you should know, if you go try to pass that test in the military and you can't pass it, they're not just going to let you in just because. Let me throw
this out there. Just because a kid is bad does not mean he lacks intelligence.
Well,
nope.
I'm gonna put it like this.
Just like people, when mentally ill people come into the play, they act like they're stupid. But you want to know, some of the smartest people I've ever met are mentally ill. So when they say bad, they automatically assume dumb. Nope.
So bad. A lot of times when we talk about school and a kid is bad,
mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say a lot of times. I don't know every kid, but these kids don't go to school a lot of times. And what they find themselves at the end of the day, they're unable to pass a test because they don't know the information to pass the test. So when you start talking about the military, and then also the other thing in school, a lot of the kids get pushed along a lot of time. They get passed on to the next grade level, even though they haven't really put into the work to graduate, to do well, whatever. They push them onto, and they got so many years before they just get pushed out of high school completely.
But like I said, people automatically assume when you say the kid is bad, that he's dumb. And they can fool you and make you wrong every time. I know kids that they'll run trees around both of us. Because what happens is the internet has created geniuses. It really has. Because information they don't want to know is automatically instilled in them.
Okay.
Along with their ability to accept it, because you have to be able to accept it too.
Okay.
So my thing is, people always say that, girl, he's so bad and dumb. Don't you fool yourself. Just like when they say he crazy. Yeah, but his intellect level is like 143, almost genius.
Okay, so here's the thing. If a kid is unable to be successful in a classroom environment, which has structure, which has, where you have to be somewhat disciplined, what makes you think they're going to be successful in an environment where they actually got to go to work every day and they have to kind of execute a job where they're doing what they, they're given a job description and they say, you're supposed to do this here. What's going to make a kid who doesn't have the same drive in school do that when he gets in a working environment?
Because there are consequences to not doing it. There are consequences to him not doing it. Your mother can beat you every day till she get tired and she just let you do your thing.
So there's no consequences in school?
No. What's some consequences in school? Because they can't hit you? They can't make you stand in the corner?
You can't participate in any extracurricular activities.
Do they care?
If you got bad
They ain't doing nothing but playing basketball and running around the court.
I play basketball.
What I'm saying is, if they had something that was structured enough in that school, if they had, like I told you before, if they had recording studio classes, they had television classes, if they had lyricist classes where they could learn to write lyrics and stuff.
So kids you want to teach every kid to be a rapper?
No, but I'm saying those are the things that interest them. You can teach kids art to be graphic artists. You can teach kids to be engineers, CAD specialists. They can draw out all them plans in the building, CAD specialists. I mean,
that sounds good. That really sounds.
But they won't waste money on that.
But yeah, that costs money.
They won't. Yeah, but the whole issue is they done wasted all this money up to this time. We can waste a little more. That's the way I feel. Our kids deserve it. Our kids deserve it. If they never get a diploma, if they had offered those things in school, the vocational training thing, remember? If they had offered that stuff in school, those kids come right out of school and go into a studio without a degree. They can go right to work in a television studio without a degree. They can go to an engineering division and work as an apprentice.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think everybody underestimates black children. I think they do.
I don't think they
think they underestimate black children.
I don't think they underestimate them at all. That's the reason why I don't think they get the proper education.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we agree on that. We agree on that one.
Okay.
We agree on that one. Okay. But I'm just saying, I think that a lot of people underestimate us. Like there was a lady one time and she was talking about some wine and dries and all that stuff. And she said, I told her, no, that's a dry wine. That means it's a little sour.
Okay.
She said, what you know about wine? I said, black people know about all the things they can't afford because we study luxury goods. We study luxury goods. I can't buy Moet or Ace of Spades,
right? But
I know what it tastes like and I never had a drop. Because we educate ourselves on the things that we feel are important to us.
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying they do underestimate us. They do underestimate us. They don't think we have any idea of what lux is. The luxury life, they don't think we have any idea of that. And
we talk about it in all our rap music.
But they really think that we just copycat it and not really knowing.
But But you've already kind of communicated that we don't know about that life, because in order to have that life, you gotta have a certain type of income.
Yeah, but
So if
go
you
ahead.
don't, if you're unable to maintain a certain income to have those type of things and live comfortably, then really you need to be educated on the income part of it, the financial literacy part of it.
But let me say this to you. There are people who will buy a bottle of Ace of Spades with their income tax so they can taste it.
Okay.
There are people who will buy caviar so they can say, we used to have rich parties. And that means we ate everything that we thought the rich people ate.
Okay.
And everybody would put in $150.
Wow. A rich party.
That's we call it a rich party.
I ain't never heard of that.
Well, you know,
A rich party.
wait a minute, we only 40 years apart. You know,
Right.
but we used to have
yeah.
rich parties, and everybody would put on silk pajamas, and we get all our stuff and lay it out on the table.
Okay.
And say, girl, have you ever tasted that before? No, but I'm gonna taste it today.
Oh wow.
And we just eat, go and eat the stuff and get sick, some of us, and
A rich party.
that's what we used to call
I
it.
never heard of that.
That's old people stuff.
Okay.
That's old people stuff. We used to have rich parties, and we'd have so many people.
But
They
you put in
spent
$150
a piece.
a piece.
Mhm.
Who can afford that?
Well, we was
And this was how many years ago?
well, we wasn't all living clean.
Okay.
We weren't all living clean.
Okay.
That's why we had the parties, because we couldn't go everywhere.
Okay.
So it was like a little tight group, about 20 of us. And so that's a lot of money back in the day. So we'd buy the most expensive whiskey, the most expensive wine, the most expensive dessert,
Okay.
the most caviar. We didn't know if it was expensive or not because we never had none before. Then we buy the champagne. What else would we buy? We bought like hors d'oeuvres, like they were like before sushi was popular. We would buy sushi. We bought smoked salmon from Norway. We bought snails. We bought octopus. We bought all that stuff.
Okay. And the point and purpose was to do what again?
To live like rich folks, eat like rich folks.
Wow.
To know, because think about this. In your lifetime, how many times will you experience that kind of food? Never. Not never. In one place.
So was this experience just based on food?
And drinks,
Okay. And drinks. So
and
food and drinks. That's
and
it.
feeling elegant. Feeling
Okay.
elegant
So you
in the
dressed a certain
process.
way too?
Yeah, we used to wear pajamas, silk pajamas and stuff like that.
Okay.
And our best slippers and big earrings and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we used to do.
That's interesting.
But I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
The fun part was when, everybody, what is that? I don't know. What is that? You gonna tell me what that is? No.
Mhm.
Just eat it.
Okay.
And then when you tell them, say you ate a snail,
Uh-huh.
everybody trying to throw it back up. But I mean, it's just,
Oh, man.
how many black people know what any of this stuff tastes like? How many? It's a very limited amount of people that are able to buy that kind of stuff.
Right.
But we did that basically because, like I said, we couldn't go where everybody else went. If we went out of town, we could. But if we were going to do something in town, we planned it for a month, so it went perfect.
So this was in Gary, though.
Mhm.
Okay.
Gary, we did in East Chicago a couple times, but they right next to each other. It ain't nothing, no big deal. Yeah, but we found a place, and that's where we did it.
Oh, that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, but it was fun too.
Hmm.
That's why when people say you ain't never had that before, okay, if you say so. But that's just to change the edge a little bit. You work every day, you're eating hamburgers, hot dogs, and Polish sausage. So it changed the whole edge on a lux level.
So if we're always talking about the luxury stuff in our music, then in a sense, people already feel like they have a taste of that life, though, that lifestyle.
Yeah, a lot of people walk around here with dupes.
Yeah.
They do,
So,
because the dupes make them feel important. But the rappers do have it. The rappers have it.
okay.
They had the real stuff. But because you remember, I was in retail. I used to sell them bags and them shoes, everything. I used to sell everything them rappers wearing.
Okay.
I just don't have a new style. I had the old style.
Okay.
But I used to sell it to the people, and they would tell me, "Don't tell nobody."
Okay.
That's all they say. Don't tell nobody you're over here.
So we're talking about the younger people, their options once they get out of
High school.
high school.
Mm-hmm.
So military was one.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one we just kind of talked about?
I said real estate.
Real estate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because the most important thing you could give your child is a plot of land with a building on it that belong to him.
Okay.
I think that's the most important thing. And if you're lucky enough to be able to pay it off, if he's lucky enough to work long enough where he can get it paid down or paid off, you're giving him something that's going to balance him out for the rest of his life. He got equity. He got a place to stay. Yeah. He got income property. You know what I'm saying?
So only problem I find with that is the fact that even anytime you have any type of property, there's costs that come with that. There's expenses.
Yeah.
And so if a person is just out of high school,
that's why you got people. That's why you got people that interfere in his life, like his mom, dad, the neighbors, John. If he needs to maintain or fix something, I'm sure you already tell him and train him that you got to maintain whatever you own. That's very important.
So now we're getting back into dealing with a family that's a little
not necessarily better. Family, friends, associates.
Who does that? Friends,
every junkie I know. When I lived on the block, you know who fixed my car? The junkie. You know who put the windows in? Junkies.
They're not going to contribute to you getting land.
No, but I'm saying I thought you were talking about keeping it up. Okay. Keeping it out there, because I had already said if he was lucky enough to buy
you look at this property taxes you got to pay every.
Well, that's given. You're not going to get away from the government. Anything you pay taxes on your car. You never stop.
But that's the point I'm making. Like, there's expenses that even when you trying to make money, you need money a lot of times to make money. So
that's why you should never buy a house. Never buy a single house. Never in your lifetime. No, I told him to buy real estate, or I told him to buy an apartment building. I never let one house come out of my mouth. I said property and real estate.
Okay.
No, never buy one house.
You to be more specific.
A house is an expense. It is not a gift.
Right.
An apartment building will generate money to pay its taxes and to pay the mortgage.
But you still have there's expenses tied to it. So.
Maintenance. Always a house is maintenance.
Yeah. And anytime you have people, you're dealing with people,
I already know. You gotta look at but you have to also look at if he owns that property, if he's got 4 apartments, he better live in one. Because tenants act better when you live online on property.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's got the opportunity to live there, or either put one of his family members or somebody he knows in there that can keep an eye out. I wouldn't. You can't have strangers living in your house because they would tear it up. You have to, and then they always say, "Well, get good renters." Ain't no such a thing. I know doctors that have torn people's buildings down, pretty much.
Doctors.
Yeah. They had a condo before they was popular.
Okay. Yeah.
Before they was popular, he had a condo, honey. When that man went up in there, he had roaches and everything.
Oh.
So you have to think about it. And he was a doctor. He was a doctor.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, there's to anything that has a good side, there's also a bad side.
Okay, absolutely.
So we can't really, what I'm trying to enforce is that you have to give your child, think about it. Your child may live a good life. Y'all work on it. He wants to own property. So you get him 2 buildings, okay? So
just wondering how
he put his friend.
This child, is he getting all this as gifts? That's just
no. He's working for it with his dad. His dad's showing
now his dad is in the picture.
Well, his dad or a friend or something. His dad was that.
This story gets better and better the more you tell it. You just adding people into the story and just making.
Well, I guess I have a circle. A lot of people have a circle. It don't necessarily have to be. Okay, I said it don't have to necessarily be your parents.
I thought we were just starting off from a kid who comes out of high school, and he's looking for the next steps and options of what he needs to do.
But he is either going to come from his parents,
and a lot of times his parents is not in a position.
A principal, I said that before.
But a lot of times his parents is not in a position to really help him like that. So he has to be really independent and do it on his own.
Yeah, you can do that too.
And what I'm trying to say is getting all this help from parents that was never there or family that was never there. That's not.
Then I said there are people in the neighborhood or people that he may know that can assist him with that information.
How many people in the neighborhood? Like we walk down the street right now. We walk down the neighborhood.
Go ahead.
And we need to help on getting some real estate or something. How many people in the neighborhood do you know, or maybe
it's different
in this neighborhood?
Yeah,
we walking down Fond du Lac. How many people is gonna be like open arms to us, like, oh, we thought you never asked.
Let me say this.
this.
Let me say this.
Uh-huh.
Most people want to tell you how they got where they are. They're gonna tell you
That's
how they
true.
got their accumulated
To a certain degree.
goods.
Yeah, okay.
They're gonna tell you that.
Okay.
If they find out that you're really serious, they're going to help you. And I bet people are listening, if there's anybody listening,
Okay.
that will tell you people have helped them get to a certain level when they were able to themselves.
Okay.
Even if their family was not behind them. Because Black people family, we don't have money. Most of us have not generated generational wealth. Because everything is we either wearing it, driving it, or living in it.
Okay.
That's how we roll. But that's what I'm saying. We need to break that. If the kid gets out of school, tell them, get them a job. You might need to work too. Get one, you work on the weekend, and get this one, you work every day or every 3 days.
Wait. How old is this kid?
18.
And this kid is going to work 2 jobs?
I know some that do.
Come on. 2
My
jobs?
grandson.
Wait.
My grandson. You want me to call him?
Like we was having a conversation.
I'm telling you, I'll call him.
And I was talking about how we could give information to a younger person to help them improve their life.
Yeah.
And because they're younger, they're gonna choose.
But you're acting like they're dumb.
Versus
you're acting like kids are dumb.
I'm not saying they're dumb, but I'm just saying that their attention span to work versus
you can't say
having
that.
fun is
You
gonna be a
can't
little
say
different.
that. You can't. All of them are not
I
out
never
here.
said all of them, but I said
they can't dingle dangle.
Most kids, they're gonna be a little more quicker to go do something that's fun.
It depends on. I think it depends on a lot of factors.
Be a very mature kid.
Yes, a lot of them that are. They've had to be. So what I'm saying is, usually if a kid decides that he wants to buy property, he understands there's something and sacrifices that he's going to make.
Okay.
He understands.
And we're
that.
talking about a kid that just got out of high school.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many kids?
You know what?
Let me ask you this question: how many kids out of high school do you know brought some property?
2.
Okay.
In my lifetime.
And how many kids do you know?
You
only know 2.
2 in my lifetime. Well, I mean, it's a good idea.
I mean, it's a great idea, but I mean, most kids aren't going to find themselves. And then weren't you just talking about in the last podcast? Are you saying how the prices of houses are just skyrocketing?
Well, it depends on what area you're in. In the areas of the metropolitan area, these big city areas, there's an issue. But my associate just bought a home for $28,000.
Okay, and
it's got everything. It's down south.
Down south.
Yeah,
okay.
It's Georgia.
I mean, it's
Georgia.
The cost of living is cheaper down south.
And what he said, everything was in the house. Everything. They left everything in the house.
Okay.
And
got a probably deal then.
Huh?
Probably got a deal then.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. But he said they didn't want it because it was so far back in the woods.
Okay.
And that's exactly why he wanted it,
Okay.
So, but I'm just saying, the whole idea is we got to get our kids financially straight before we leave the earth. That's the whole process.
Okay.
That's the whole process. When the kids gets out of school, you got to embed in him, man, you can party when you get 30. But right now, we're going to focus on getting you financially straight. So when you get 30, you can cross your legs and go anywhere you want to go. Okay. Because it's going to take those 12 years for him to get himself together. Okay. I think. And these are all my opinions, y'all.
12 years. So let's say, so 18, 12 years. That would be what, 30, you saying? Yeah, I'm saying 30. 30, he ought to be able to do anything you want to do. Okay. I think. And the crazy thing is that set time between when a kid graduates out of high school till they're 30, that time is so important. Yeah, it is. I look at myself. I did college, military. By the time I was 30, I was just really starting my career. Yeah. So if you haven't took care of your business over here, out of high school up to 30, then if you don't start at 30 of your career, when do you get into it? But the kids that's trying to be rappers, the kids that's trying to do all these other things. Man, they got people 50 years old talking about they rappers. I can't even believe that, but I mean they are. If you had to handle your business in that short length of time, what kind of references are you gonna have for that career? Somebody talking. What they saying? No, they ain't saying that. Oh, Don Pablo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what's up to Don Pablo? Hey, man. I saw you having a good time at that white party. Oh, okay.
But the thing is, I'm just trying to hopefully instill in one person that they need to get those years, they need to get themselves in a position where they'll never need or want for anything. And did I do it? Nope. Nope.
Yeah,
I didn't do it. But it's a good idea to think about getting it to that level. Well, when you get 30, you can say, okay, I'm ready to get married and have kids. I can feed more than myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got a good place for us to live. I got a steady income. I ain't got to work like a dog, and we'll still be okay.
Well,
Now that's
I mean, but in terms of like relationships and women getting married, I don't think they place a high expectation on men to whereas they say you need to have your ducks in a row. You need to be making.
There are some women that are like that.
You need to have a good job because you find a lot of women who are by themselves with kids. Usually, they were kids through a person who they at some point loved, and they thought.
Let me tell you something.
Thought that it was going to be something that lead to
human nature will make you sleep with a grizzly bear. Human nature happens.
Okay.
And sooner or later, if you're this off the topic, but it's okay. But sooner or later, you're gonna need somebody for cuddles and more.
Okay. Yeah.
And sometimes we just make mistakes. And once we get somebody in our presence, he's not too bad to deal with. We'll deal with that foolishness because we think that's what we need, but we don't.
Man,
we don't. You could always wait.
There's a lot of us, and probably we make those mistakes over and over again. And it's like a cycle.
But what I don't understand is if you made a mistake once, why would you do it again?
That's just life.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody makes mistakes, including me.
And that is human nature.
But I'm just saying, if you got some trash the first time, and you go back and he's got all the attributes of that first bucket of trash, why would you bring it home? You try to look for something a level above the last mistake. You know what I'm saying?
But we're always taught not to judge. We're always taught
bull.
We're always taught to not give up on people who
and men have used it. Men and women have used that to abuse people's kindness and generosity.
Yeah, but that's easier said after the fact.
No, it's not. Because once it's happened, you know what to look for. It's like the man that said, baby, I'm gonna go look for a job. He get up every day and go out the house same time you leave, right? Mm-hmm. But every night he come home, he ain't got no job and no possibilities. Ain't nobody calling the phone. So what do you think he doing?
Looking for a job.
He around the corner with his boys, or over his boy's house, or over his other woman's house. Mm-hmm. Because if you look for a job like you got one,
okay,
you have to look for a job like you got one. That's a job to look for a job.
Okay.
That means you fix yourself a lunch, put you a drink in a bag, your sandwich, your chips, and your fruit. And you go from every business in your area that you can walk to if you ain't got no car, and put in your application. It doesn't matter if your money comes from McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's when you start off. You got to make a contribution for yourself and your household.
Okay.
Now that I don't judge. If a man gets up and go to work and don't miss a day and try to get some more, then I know he's serious about trying to contribute to the household.
Okay.
But if you tell me you looking for a job and it's been 2 weeks, you wasn't looking for a job.
Well, it takes a while though.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I mean, it could take a while looking for a job. I mean,
that's an excuse.
Well, I mean,
that's an excuse.
The end of the day, most jobs can be attained through the internet.
No,
going online.
If you can't find a job on the internet, go to the temporary service. They'll work you the same day. You got to bill money.
Well, it depends on the type of job. It depends on the type of money you're trying to make. You might not make.
If you are not making any money, if you're not making any money until you find that job that you say so hard to find, you better go to that temp service.
I've seen people who can have a job, but because of what they pay, they refuse to work for those type of jobs.
Well, they can't live in my house. Well, ain't no job too dirty to do if you ain't got no money.
there are standards, you know.
The standards to poor people?
People have standards, trust me.
Well, I guess maybe that's why I've never been
the
around
same
one
way
of
they
those.
decide to, you know, wear what's one of the name brands, clothing, whatever, like a
You mean the people that wear the Gucci shirt and they've been worn so many times that it be gray around the collar and cuffs, but just because it says Gucci, they still got it on?
Absolutely.
I've seen men in the club like that. I couldn't even believe it. If you can't afford to buy it every day or every week, don't buy it at all. I'd rather for you to no-name me to death.
Well, people just like that. People have standards. They rather not have a job than to have a job that doesn't pay as much. They feel like they're wasting their time. And then on the other hand,
but you can't buy yourself a pack of cigarettes, can't buy you a burger, can't pay nothing
else. Another, they find a way to get them.
No,
cigarettes.
they don't. Yeah, they stand on the corner. Stand on the corner. That's the way I feel about work.
But sometimes
just like they find them cigarettes,
people can make more money getting unemployment than to get a job.
You got to have a job to get unemployment.
Yeah, but sometimes they've had jobs and they worked the job for so long, and then they say, "Man, I don't want this job no more." And then they get their unemployment again. But sometimes they get more money working unemployment, and then so why would I work a job where I'm getting less money when I can just keep on unemployment? At least they do the unemployment until it runs out, you know.
That's not cool.
Yeah, but that's what people do.
Yeah, they do it all the time. That doesn't mean it's a good thing.
Right.
That doesn't mean a good thing. Because a man that'll go to work anywhere is a man that wants to succeed. That's one that wants. It does not matter where he's working. Right. If he goes out, he says, "Look, I'm going to this temp service. I know I'm gonna work. So can you get me a lunch fixed? It'll be ready. It'll be ready on the door. What else you need? Some dry socks? Would you like some wool ones or cotton ones? Depending on where you work." Yeah, because the wool ones dry fast.
Okay.
If feet get wet, then he can hang them up under the dryer in the bathroom for a minute, and they dry, you know. Yeah. Ask me how I know. Okay, anyway. Anyway, the whole process, we got all this other stuff going on too, but I think that we all, if we can, we need to help our children build things. Once they get out of school, we need to teach them about building things for their benefit in their future. And that includes, you know, property ownership, business ownership, any type of entrepreneur program that they can do. Teach them how to do it the right way if you have the skills. If not, tell them to study it and then look on the internet. It'll tell you everything you need to know. So that was that. Now.
So I had a question.
Another one.
What? Okay, so we always talk about how there's a lot of us in our community who are in a bad predicament or situation when it comes to finances.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then one of the other things we talked about, or I kind of mentioned, was, you know, teaching the person how to
fish
instead of just giving
them fish. Right? Yeah.
Okay. So we have to ask the question too. Then we're like, how come more people just don't garden so that they don't have to go to the store and buy food and they can save?
It's a lot of people that do though.
But how come there's not more people doing that?
Because the land up here is limited. Most people are living in apartments because they don't own property. So they can't cut up them people's yards.
You said most people.
Yeah, well, most of this town,
there's more apartments in
this city than there are homeowners. Yes.
Well, it don't have nothing to do with being.
Yes, it do. Yes, it do. Because people don't let you cut up their yard. They don't want you to put a garden in the backyard. Where you gonna put it at?
I honestly never heard that before.
Well, you didn't. Okay. I asked my landlord, could I put a garden in mine? Because I want to grow tomatoes. I love tomatoes.
Okay.
And the yard, if you saw it, looked like a dust bowl. But he told me he didn't want nobody messing up his lawn. Okay. There's a lot of folks that do that. There's a lot of folks that do that.
You gotta know how to do it without messing up the lawn.
You gotta turn the dirt over. You gotta turn dirt over.
You gotta know how to do it without messing up his lawn, though.
Anything that you do to somebody's property they don't want you to do that's a violation of the lease.
So here's my alternative.
Yeah.
Okay, because that sounds good, but if you really wanted to do it, you still could, right?
Yeah, that's why I paid $100 for the city lot.
No, not even.
You have to pay $100 for the one right along. I'm gonna tell you what street that is. That is East Washington, but it's the street over from East Washington. They got an area that is called it's the Family Gardens. Okay. And you pay $100 for a plot, right?
Okay.
Okay, I paid $100 for the pot, planted my pumpkins, planted my tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back after a week, when they had grown, wasn't nothing in there.
What do you mean?
It was
Somebody
gone.
took it?
Mm-hmm. And I told him I paid $100 for that.
So
Ain't no
you
camera
grew,
out there.
You grew it for somebody
I grew it
else.
for somebody else. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a good deed, though, right? Giving to charity, right?
Well, no, I was a charity dude. I bought them seeds. I was out there weeding myself. And you know, with pumpkins, you have to go out there at least and turn them.
Yeah, yeah.
I was out there turning them. So I was hoping that by the time October came, I'd have enough pumpkins for my grandkids.
Oh man, that's sad, man.
But honey, they got all of them.
Dang.
Every one of them, honey.
So okay, so my alternative I was going to say is you could have got a.
Why don't you buy a big lot? Buy a couple.
Wait. Don't bitch off.
Wait a minute. Buy 5 acres. Buy 5 acres, and we'll go. Just get a group of people. That's all we do is go out there and take care of the garden. Then when they all come to fruition, we go out there and split the weight.
And Mark. He actually
does that.
He has some land like that where he can do something like that.
Well, we need to talk to him because we need to get us a big truck and bring up them watermelons and all.
Right.
What?
But that's somewhere out of the state, though. But
that's okay, though.
Yeah.
That's okay because what I'm saying is, if we can get out there and plant it and make, we can do organic gardening. It don't take nothing but put the seeds in the ground.
Okay.
And once they grow, then go down there and get them.
Yeah. So what I was going to say.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Rudely interrupted. Go ahead.
But I was going to say, because you said that your landlord or whoever didn't want you to mess up their
yard,
their lawn.
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong with doing the above the ground raised garden?
You mean the pots?
Yeah, where you do something above the ground.
You have to still put it on his property, though.
Yeah,
you have to get permission.
You have to put it on.
You have to get permission. You have to get permission. My lease has everything in it. He didn't leave out nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, he wanted them.
Wow.
His partner is a lawyer, so you know the lease type.
Okay.
Wow. We can get over that one.
That's deep.
Yeah. But a lot of people be like that.
You just can't win.
Yeah. Well, in that particular case, but most people don't mind. Where I lived before, I lived in a city house. I had a garden on the side of my kitchen window. Yeah, it was just a little patch, and I just chopped it up and threw the seeds out there, and they grew.
Okay.
But it wasn't a lot of stuff. So, we want to move to the next topic, or?
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
Because I don't think we'll ever get over none of that about the kids and stuff. But anyway, women who want an old-fashioned man, a provider, protector, loving and nurturing, but they won't cook, clean, or manage your household.
What?
Your opinion.
Wait. You said a woman wants an old-fashioned man.
Yeah, one that a provider, protector, he loving and nurturing.
Okay.
But she won't cook, clean, or manage the household.
Okay.
So how is that going to work?
Because
every time you want something, you have to give up something to get it. Every time.
I mean, doesn't that kind of go hand in hand with what you were kind of saying before, as far as a guy shouldn't be expecting 50-50?
Right. But I'm just saying it's not 50-50. What it is, it's the caring for both parties. If you're in a relationship with somebody or you're married to someone, and it's just a given that you have certain things that apply for them.
Okay.
And certain things that apply for him.
Okay.
So it's like, instead of like, if he's going to work, you wake up, you're not working. Most women usually don't have to work if they got a good guy. So you wake up, he's going to work. So you got to clean, you do the laundry, then you start dinner. Okay. So if you know that the day is going to be the hardest work day, because he already told you about that. So you say he'll be here about 6:30. So you get the bath water ready. You get his beer on ice, and you get ready to fix his plate and take it to him while he's in the bathtub.
Okay.
Those are things, that don't cost you nothing. But the impression to your partner or your other will give him the impression that you're caring for him. And that's more important than anything, that I'm cared for in a relationship.
Okay, but if a woman has never done that before,
She need to practice.
She's not gonna do that even when she does find a man, and even if she does do some of those things that you talking about,
he should avoid her.
She might actually do it for maybe like the first 2 weeks, even a month. But after that, she's probably not gonna do that, because if that's not like a normal routine, a normal habit, something that she does, why would she continue to do that?
Let me say this.
That's just something a woman does to get a guy, really.
No, not to get. If someone is caring for you and taking care of you, loving you and nurturing you.
2024.
Well, then you know what? When you find out that she or he is not that person, walk out the door. It's not that hard. Yeah, it's not that hard. Because that's the way you're gonna live for the rest of your life. If you
right, absolutely.
So the best thing is to walk out that door. Because if she can't give anything or contribute anything in the mental, emotional thing for you, and some physical, what do you need her for? A man's home is peace, I thought. Right. And women they know that, but they don't do the things to make it peaceful.
So now you know what, this is kind of interesting, because in many cases, I don't know if you realize this, but it seems like you just kind of like anti-men.
Who, me?
But in this particular situation, I actually agree with you.
But it's not that I'm anti-men. It's just that they keep doing this. They got this cycle going. Men have a cycle going right now.
Oh, don't mess it up. You was doing good.
Wait a minute. Let me express this. You know, the first thing a man tells you is he wants respect. But what has he done to get the respect? What is bringing you to the point where you say, "Oh God, I can't let him see this. This is not important. I'm gonna teach this to myself because I don't want him to get upset." You know, some things like, let me see. Like if you got a guy, no. Listen. If you got a guy and you know he has a real hard job, right? Okay. Yeah. And you got kids. Y'all got kids. Mm-hmm. So when he gets ready to come home, you know what you're supposed to do? It's time for him to come home. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to get those kids in a position where they're out of his way. He don't want to see them kids the first time when he walk in that door. He don't want to see them because he got to come down from all that bull crap from that day. Okay. So she's supposed to have the kids in the room with a little snack before dinner and have them tucked away. Watch that. I'm going to take care of your pop right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So then once he's acclimated to the house, you know, maybe 30, 40 minutes, he can sit down. Then you let the kids out that room. What's wrong?
No, I'm just listening.
What's wrong with that?
No.
Wait a minute. Have you ever
There's nothing wrong with
that.
Have
you ever been to somebody's house? Went with your partner. He coming home from work, right? As soon as he get in the door, you know that boy, and the kids right, daddy, no, oh Lord. And he said, "Man, come on, let's go sit in the car." You ain't never been in that situation?
That's funny. You kind of brought back memories of
okay. But see, women don't understand. That's just a consciousness that you have to have as a female. Okay. And it's very few men that can like that kind of treatment. Very few men know how to accept that treatment. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because it's just like with a guy, if you know, some guys come to your house, you know, they don't want to take their shoes off and stuff. Okay. So you untie their shoelaces, say, "Here, I'm going to give you some socks, put these on." Because you don't want them funky feet walking on your carpet. Mm. So you give them some fresh socks. Okay. Nice. And most guys think that's like, "Why are you doing that?" Because nigga, your feet stink.
I've actually never heard of that, but that's a good idea.
But it's a lot of things that are not big that create your illusion of caring, which a woman is supposed to do. Okay. If you're interested in a man and you want to keep a man. Yeah, because that's all it is. Okay. Everything we do is for the consideration of the other person.
But you said illusion, though.
It is an illusion. It is an illusion.
So you said illusion for caring. So that means
you care.
Illusion is
you care, but you know it's just like
you feel like the person cares, but they don't really care.
They care for you, but listen. What I'm saying, let me say it better. Yeah, okay, let me say it a little better. Sometimes you don't always feel like being that person, but it's got to be there to maintain the relationship. Okay. So you have to go through the moves, whether you want to go through them or not at that time. Because that don't mean you don't love them any less or don't care any less. It's just you got to push yourself because this is not your time right now. Okay. So you push yourself to do that. So that's an illusion of caring. So if he sees that you're still doing for him, he's not gonna feel slighted. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So y'all can get along for the rest of the night. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Some women are good at it, and some women are not.
Right.
Yeah. Some women are. It's women that their husband don't even look at other women because of the way they treat him. You know, they don't want to lose the good treatment. I know women that still bathe their husbands.
Oh, okay.
They still do that, and the men know how to accept that.
Dang.
Some men don't know how to accept that.
Shout out to the women who bathe their husbands. You know.
Yeah, that's what they do. They bathe their husbands. Then they.
Hey, if you are a woman who bathes your significant other, let us, say something in the comments.
I don't know why y'all acting like this is so weird.
I don't know if this is even happening or true, but I mean, yeah. Oh, what's the other thing? You said, wait, no, hold up.
Okay.
I got another thing.
Okay.
You made a comment to say that most women,
okay,
when they come home from work, they generally sit in the car for 30 minutes.
Yes.
Just to kind of just
get themselves together. Because when they go in that door, it's going to be a whole nother different situation.
So if you're out there listening or, you looking at this live some other time or another, and you are one of those women who sits in your car and when you come home from work and you sit in your car for like a good 30 minutes, let us know. I would like to know how many women actually do that.
They do that.
Yeah.
They do that because they got to get mental for their man and their kids.
Okay.
They got to get their mental right.
Okay. So we'll see how many
ask
women...
them how many women cut their boyfriend's toenails.
What? Cut they? Really?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. You said somebody did that for me.
Yeah, they cut your toenails.
Yeah. They actually did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I was scared though. I ain't gonna lie. I thought.
Why would you be scared?
Because I thought she was gonna cut too far.
That is an act of caring.
Cut me
she
too
couldn't
far
cut
into
you
the deal.
unless you got some toenails like Dixie cups. But I'm just
never know. Yeah, I mean that's for me. That's a trust thing too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is. It's all of that. But I mean, we've lost all that. That's the glow in emotional and emotion and caring and building. That's all those things are lost now because these people don't do that. They don't do that anymore. Like oiling your guy's scalp and stuff like that. People do that. You oil your guy's scalp, massage his head, whatever he needs. Give him a facial, pluck his ingrown hairs. Those are all the things you do.
A lot of stuff now.
No, it ain't, because y'all be laying in the bed talking and she said ingrown hair, she pull out your beard.
Okay.
I mean, it ain't like we're going to have an ingrown hair day. It ain't like that. It ain't like that. But she watches you and sees what you need and offer it.
Okay.
She offers it. I don't know. Maybe something wrong with the girls of old days because that's the kind of stuff.
I mean, you got to learn some of that stuff with somebody, though. Like you said,
But most, I'm gonna tell you something. Most of these young people, like my niece now, if their guys are at home with them, they tied up in the bedroom and the kids is running around tearing up the house.
Oh wow.
They're in the room with the door closed.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And the kids are just jumping, running, tearing up, knocking over stuff. So where your mom at? In there.
Oh no.
I said, knock on the door. They don't be doing nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't catch them.
Right.
But I'm just saying, why would you leave your kids in here and you got this man in here? It's just you got to use good common sense. You got to use methods. And, if you got kids that's crazy, you got to probably put them in a situation where they can do what they want to do and not be as destructive so you can entertain them.
Okay.
But they don't do that. They'll shut the door and leave the kids out. The kids be done flew out.
Trying to get their own little piece of mind behind those doors, I guess.
I don't know. Well, I mean, sex controls these young folk. Sex control. And that's the last thing, because that's the first thing that'll wear out when he can't function anymore and you don't want him to function. What do y'all got then? What are y'all gonna do then?
All right. You don't have nothing else in common.
You ain't got nothing else going.
Right.
That's why they say, I don't know why he left me. Because you was in the bed with your legs up every day. You gotta have some kind of soul tie or some kind of commonality I can't say it right. Commonality. Okay, that's it.
Commonality.
You got to have a commonality.
Okay.
I saw it in my head, but I couldn't get it out of my mouth. But anyway, these women don't understand the art of femininity is being a woman all the way, not when you need it, all the way.
Okay.
And that's, you're a sounding board, you're a peacemaker, you're a common sense, you're the calm, and you're part of the storm.
I hope y'all listening to this, y'all women out there. Y'all taking notes, writing this down.
There ain't nobody taking no
Just
notes.
write this down.
They probably say that old woman crazy.
It's
They probably they
a lot
think.
of truth to that. I mean, usually I disagree with you, but I mean, there's a lot of truth to what you're
Well, you
saying,
just a man. You
know?
want to be treated well, and that sounds good, and it is
I
good.
mean, some men deserve it.
Yeah, they
And
do.
Some men aren't to the point where they really
Understand
need to be
it.
in a relationship
Right.
because they don't know how to do the things that they're supposed to do in the first place. So why are you giving these type of guys that type of treatment? You know,
That's why you can't get rid of them.
right.
That's why they can't get rid of them, because once they start wasting all those good tools on somebody that's not going anywhere, he's really not going.